Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me, Megan Hoffmeyer.
Sarah Newark, DJ Valentine, Billy Business, and Brendan Peters. This is Andy Boetes. This is Nathan Leahy, David Cross, Jake Lewitt, Norbert Morvan, it's Lisa Leahy, Joey Lewandowski, John Levingood, Professor Mike Dillon, Nick Riak, Niall Moore, Erik Hoffmeyer, Johnny Nunn.
Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who just got done with a very pleasing Perkisized session. It's Erik Hoffmeyer.
Every morning, every evening, I'm Perkisizing. Check out my YouTube channel, Perkisize the Demons.
Your latest video on being on a water deficit was pretty mind-blowing. You passed out halfway through, but you brought up some good ideas.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done the intermittent fasting with the water deficit.
In a sauna.
In a sauna within a 24-hour period.
Lucky but someone found you.
I know, man. These biohacking bros from Silicon Valley just led me astray on that one.
You're going to live to 150.
I know. I need a cold plunge to shake myself out of that one.
You only sleep in microbursts.
I know. Then I go to the farmer's market and get all the specialty vegetables possible.
Hanging out with Erik's terrible because you'll be hanging out at a farmer's market looking up specialty beets and radishes and everything, and he'll just be taking a micro nap, but you don't know it. You're like, bro, sleeping. Like, what? You're standing up. Like,
yeah, and then I wake up and I start lecturing you on the various types of nuts and plant-based ketosis.
Sure you want those almonds? But you don't tell me anything. You just ask questions. Are you sure you want those almonds?
They're too high in fat, man. You got to go for some other forms of nut nutrition.
You know how much water goes into that? Like, just
yeah. It takes
Erik,
a ton of water.
Erik, just let me eat my pastry. Just let me eat my pastry, man. I'm doing great. Okay. Whatever you think is good for you.
If you would just watch my channel, my channel dedicated
everything
to
you say to people
Tony
is just
Perkis.
Questions. Did you not watch my latest video? So what do you think about your dietary habits?
But I talked to him in the motivational speaker,
Yeah.
like Ben Stiller, when they first introduced him. He did the perfect faux motivational speaker lecture. The voice rising, the voice falling, the feigned sincerity, the dramatic pauses. It's so great.
I was watching a New Heights podcast, just a clip when they're talking to Ben Stiller. And Ben Stiller was talking about how he sees his Tony Perkis as being sort of a tragic figure because he's like, I was homeschooled my entire life. I have never, ever, like interacted with children before. And like, he's already 50K in debt when he's like, if I don't sell 50K of these things, my ass is wheatgrass. And just,
he has no human connection whatsoever. Remember when
his dad doesn't hug him. He says dad legit doesn't hug him. So yeah, he has no friends, Erik. I don't. He's trying.
He is. You know what the greatest part about this character, Tony Perkis, is it's the forerunner to his character on Dodgeball.
Oh yeah, and like even Starsky and Hutch, the do it, like stuff like it's.
Oh, that was the dad in Heavyweights.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, it's just No, you're absolutely right. And also, I didn't watch this movie in theaters. I don't think you did either. I didn't even know Ben Stiller was in this movie so we didn't really know who Stiller was in 95. I think in 98 there's something about Mary, he blew up, and we kind of knew him from that. Like I wasn't like a Reality Bites guy, so I didn't know what that was.
You were too young for that one.
And so I was watching a TV show one day, and somehow I confused his character from Happy Gilmore with his character from this. And so I had a visual in my head of him like trying to tempt a kid with a jelly bear or teddy, just like a little with a teddy, like with the bears, the gummy bears. I don't know where that came from, but I like Ben Stiller's in Heavyweights, because this movie wasn't marketed. It was released in February. The poster, I never paid attention to the poster. I looked at it for the first time. It's one of the worst posters I've ever seen in my life.
They missed the point of the movie completely.
Did you?
Yeah, I never watched it. We just checked it out on a family night, and my wife was like, "No, I don't want to watch a fat cat movie. This is stupid." Then we watched it. We loved it. I don't think I ever seen this until I showed it to my kids. But this movie is deceptive because you think it's going to take the easy jokes, make fun of fat kids, but it's the opposite. It's non-cynical. It gives these kids a place where they can be themselves, have fun, enjoy their summer together, and just run amok and live an active lifestyle. And it's so sincere. And then they team up against the tyrannical authority figure, and then they rise to the occasion against camp MVP at the end. It's fantastic kid movie.
And they had themes of anorexia and bulimia in this, did they not? Didn't they say like, okay, Becky, like you just go puke up your food? Isn't there a lot? Remember when the girls?
Oh yeah,
like, jeez,
the dance.
Yeah, and also, but this is what the poster says: they never met a hot dog they didn't like until now, and it's Lars and a hot dog with photoshopped heads,
and he wasn't even the main character.
And well, Ben Stiller didn't want to be in any of the promotional materials for this movie because he was high on. Yeah, he was high on Reality Bites. So he wasn't in any of the trailers and no one knew he was in this.
That's strange because he was all in on this role.
Yeah. But for some reason he's like, I don't want people to know I'm in this. I'm telling you, Ben Stiller. So yeah, he was in none of the promotional materials until later when they added him in. So yeah, this thing got dumped in February, but Steven Brill. So I researching this movie. And first, Erik, I want to say this movie was written by Judd Apatow and Steven Brill. Steven Brill, the guy who did Heavyweights or Mighty Ducks, D2, a bunch of Adam Sandler movies did this. You have Paul Feig popping up, who directed Spy, Bridesmaids. You have Peter Berg, the guy who directed Battleship.
Berg was in this?
Yeah, he's the chef. Just, Jerry Still. Wow. Jeffrey Tambor punches Ben Stiller in the gut. And then Ben Stiller delivers a double karate chop on him, does 3 backflips, and knocks himself unconscious. It's incredible.
After he jumps from the second floor window.
Oh, and they go, ow. But yeah, just the kids that they brought in from like Steven Brill did the Mighty Ducks movies. So like I love Aaron Schwartz. I love Sean Weiss. I think that Kenan Thompson's hilarious. His line readings.
Good comedic actors. All the kids in this.
And I just got to drop one more thing on you that I think is really interesting. Watching this movie again, most of the major like popular quotes belong to Lars. Just, I'm feeling skinny, Tony, and the buddy system. And he wasn't even supposed to have an accent in this movie. Just during rehearsals, late in rehearsals, he just came up with it. And they're like, okay, you got it.
Is he actually German or was it?
No, nothing. He just did it. A lot of them, like, they're like, you're great. So his role was supposed to be very minor, like the other guys. But then he got pretty much elevated because of his really silly little accent that he put on. It's perfect.
You needed that level of absurdity to balance out the sincerity of the movie, I think.
So you have, and like, he's not a super bad guy by any means. No. And no, it's just
he was vibing at the dance. Yeah. When I realized I like Lars when they were at the dance and he was the DJ and he was just having a great time.
And at the end, he dressed up for the relay, the Apache rally. There's the what was the rally name? Why am I not remembering that? What is it? They lose it every year. And the name of it is do you remember the name of it?
No, we'll come back to whatever competition that was.
Give it 5 seconds here and then I'll just find it. Oh yeah. It was the Apache relay, which was also kind of a similar theme, was in Addams Family Values too, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, it was
race at the end.
No, just that. Remember they had the Thanksgiving with the Native Americans and the Pilgrims, and everyone dressed up, and Wednesday lit everything on fire. So
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, but so this
I couldn't understand. Like, was the brother in Addams Family also in Heavyweights, or was that just a kid that looked similar?
I don't know. I don't think
IMDb was. That.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, look that up. But no, I mean, Erik, I never saw this movie before. You recommend? It's a huge blind spot because I think it just got dumped on. All I remember from the trailers were the go-karts. That was it. And so, and I also knew it was the movie that that Ben Stiller didn't want to be associated with until later on in life when it became a really popular hit on Disney Plus. I didn't know anything about it, so watching it was such a pleasant little surprise. Yeah, it's a fun.
We watched it. We loved it. The kids were cracking up. I got to ask you though, like, what is this movie? Is it about friendship? Is it about underdogs? Is it about lovable losers? Or is it just the general Judd Apatow? Did I say his name right?
Yeah, Judd Apatow.
It's the same formula. When I found out that Judd wrote it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You got this off mainstream group of kids who become a surrogate family they all learn life lessons and they become better by the end of the movie. I mean, it's like it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, they start dating like a pretty lady. That's not
Yeah.
their league, you know. It's Apatow 101. But asking what this movie is a smart question because it got greenlit without a script. So at the time, Brill was hot from Mighty Ducks. So Disney was like, Joe Roth was like, yeah, you got it, man. Like you made Mighty Ducks. Like those movies made bank. And all of a sudden, Judd Apatow was known for his writing for various shows. He was a hot up and comer. And so they pitched the idea and he was like, yeah, sure. Sounds good. So they just sent him to North Carolina. And apparently everyone on the crew had the greatest time making this movie. And it was originally much darker. But then they showed it to Disney, and Disney, not much darker, but like PG-13. And so, because it was originally like an R-rated script, they wanted Adam Sandler and I think Chris Farley to be in it, but then they passed, and then they had to rewrite the script. They cast kids. It was supposed to be like a Meatballs, Bill Murray type thing. And then the Disney watching are like, oh no. So then they just edited the heck out of it. There's a bunch of deleted scenes, and then they just dumped it in February with very little marketing. So when you ask what kind of movie this is, it does. I don't know. It's not really it's a summer camp movie, but not. It's like
there's so many themes to it.
Yeah.
That's tough when you have a hybrid movie. When it's real rich in terms of storylines, it's hard to market that.
And there's so many wonderful little scenes. Like I sent you a text message when the kid goes, "Thanks for giving me the best damn summer of my life." Like I got kind of welled up when he said that. And when they talked about, after they partied all night and ate, and he's like, well, what did we learn from this? And he's like, we'll never put marshmallows on hot dogs or something stupid like that. And he's like, no, we got to like learn to, don't put Twinkies on your pizza. He's like, no, we need personal responsibility, self-control. And there's that lesson. And then there's just talking about.
They touched on it's good to be healthy.
Yeah.
But they didn't beat them over the head with it or make them feel stupid. Let them make their own mistakes.
Yeah.
And then learn from it and show them it's fun to exercise. They had a good time.
Yeah. Walking. You know what's funny too? They're just walking fast. So you think they're going to go on this run, but then they're just walking fast because these kids, you can't get these kids running 20-mile-an-hour, 20-mile hiking trips and then climbing 1,000-foot rock walls. You have to
enjoy having exercise. You have to, like reading in your kids, you have to instill the joy of reading. You can't force them to read. You can't. If you force kids to exercise, they're going to hate it. But if they have fun doing it, then you can lay the foundation for lifelong health.
I think the blob is probably the perfect thing because you got to jump on it, then you got to get down, then you got to swim, then you got to climb.
Yeah, launches them in the water, then they have to swim back to the dock, and you do it over and over and over again. That's great exercise.
Just be comfortable with yourself, and but it was the 90s, so there's nothing like making a kid lose weight by making him feel terrible about himself. Or,
if you want to have the opposite effect on them,
there's a high success rate in that. This is random, but I'm not going to say who. But I remember I was a little chunky growing up. We both grew up to be like 6'3", 6'4", so maybe we just needed that to grow up. Everyone got cake, and I went to go get cake, and someone's like, "You don't need that. You're too fat." And so I couldn't get cake, and then everyone else did. And
that leaves scars. Those types of comments.
I remember that, and it's like that didn't help me. That just made me feel terrible about like.
I was telling my son too. He's in 6th grade, and he's about to go through a growth spurt, so he packed on some extra weight around the stomach, like we did. But I'm like, dude, you're about to like spring up there. Don't worry about it. That's your fuel for growth.
He's like, he didn't have a bowl cut. I had the gut and a bowl cut. I like his haircut, so he looks good. I had a literal bowl on my head.
Yeah.
And 90s fashion, Erik. I had jorts. I had odd polos. Man, what an era. I had a mullet for a while too.
Oh yeah. So we have a hard time describing this movie, but what makes it stand out? What about this movie that you really like? Because of what?
It has personality. This is not a stock camp movie.
It's got some edge to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like. And so it has a couple different, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about respecting yourself, but it's not really, because they beat up Tony and then they win the race over the kids. Like they win the race by actually racing in go-karts and then the intelligence bit, not the athletics. But it's just more, there's like 18 lessons to learn. There's good actors. Brill brought in his Mighty Ducks kids. Stiller's throwing heaters in this movie. The lines are good. There's funny lines in it. There's memorable scenes. There's good supporting characters. And you know what's nice too is is a lot of movies, they have a really hard antagonist. And so I think those, when you have a really aggressive antagonist, I think that slows movies down a bit. But this one's just Perkis, and he's an idiot who's never hung out with children in his life. And he's actually happy when they agree with him. So you can roll with Stiller. He doesn't slow down the movie. There's no.
And he's funny too. Yeah. Like the kid was about to step on the scale, and he's like, "No, don't even."
Get off. But yeah, he's, you know, there's no relationship drama.
He picked up a log when he was running.
Let me get some of this. Give me a dirty log or something stupid.
Woo!
Yeah. He's hilarious. He's in another movie entirely. But yeah, I think it has a personality. And also, it doesn't have any scenes where there's no bully in the camp. None of the kids are bullies. And then there's no jerk kids in the camp. They help each other out. So there's no bullies that drag things down. There's no one has to be won over. There's no middle ground where two best friends fight and then have to make up. There's no little love crush, and like in the great outdoors, there's no little relationship angle. It's just a hangout picture is what you could probably call it, where, you know, what's nice too, the lessons aren't even jam-packed. Like, they're not even they don't punch you in the face. I think some movies just hit you square in the gut, like Tamber did to Ben Stiller, and they're not like that in this movie. There's lessons, but they're pretty chill. So it's a really good rewatchable movie. And I think the reason why it's so popular and a cult classic is it didn't do well. It got a bad rap, but it's funny and it's unique.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. The things it has to say are subtle. It doesn't hit you over the head with it. I think it's the right amount of goofiness with satire and making fun of diet culture too. I think that smart movies have these layers, and I think it's so well written. One of my favorite parts was the dance where Stiller tried to shame them into losing weight because so he sets up this dance with the kids and the local all girls camp, and he was hoping the boys would just be embarrassed because like they were overweight, but they ended up just boogieing and having a great time.
The girls were like, "Why not? This looks fun. We might as well dance. We're here.
Hey, these guys are fun. You know, let's do." The teachers got out there and made asses of themselves just to break the ice, and Franz was vibing at the DJ booth, and it was just having a good time. And he's like, then he cuts it. He's like, no, it backfired. But I love that overcoming adversity. That's just such a smart scene of just you know, you be you, man. Just have fun.
And I love when they thought that Josh they got rid of him. Remember, his bed is just empty and no one's there. But then he just comes back acting like something weird happened to him, like lobotomized. But he's like, "No, my dad's a lawyer. I got back in." And then he just hangs out. So it
added that extra stress for all the rumor mills for flying around.
Oh man. And also Kenan Thompson's one of the MVPs in this movie too. The opening plane scene. Like, are you going to fat camp? Yeah. He's like, well, yeah, you too? He's like, yeah, because I'm fat. Like, I love that. And like he introduced, and then I love the opening bit when Pat gets off the bus. He's like, all right, new kid, you got to drive, but you got to keep it under 70. Like, there's just,
and then he was driving the bus and he pretended to pull into the Wendy's, but then he didn't, just to mess with them. See, that's another way of saying, no, you can eat healthier, but make it funny.
Yeah. And I mean, the lesson was, hey guys, like, let's look after ourselves. Let's exercise. Let's be outside. So but they didn't even hammer that home. So it's, you know,
excuse me, I'm looking for a bunch of portly adolescents. And then he's like, is everyone going to behave this summer? And then they all yell, no.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. If this was a lesser movie, if this was a lesser movie with like, I don't know, Michelle Pfeiffer, and she shows up to a camp and she does karate and teaches all these big kids and they all lose weight by the end of summer and look great, that would be horrifying. That's not this movie. So
the psychology is perfect too. Like, are you guys gonna behave this summer? They all yell no and start laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, the teacher's in on the joke. He knows they're gonna behave, but he's just giving them room to breathe.
Remember when he asked him if he has a girlfriend? He's like, oh yeah, you got to break up with them before you get out here. You know, you got to be a single, open for your options. Like, he's just doing that to be nice to the kid. So yeah, there's, I think too is another reason why this movie is a cult classic is there's just so many little character moments. I think most movies wouldn't allow for so many little character beats in a film. I mean, when you think about Camp Nowhere, I can't think about a single line in that movie that works. And so
I started watching it, but I couldn't go through with it.
Yeah, it's not.
it didn't have any fun. It didn't have that magic that Heavyweights had.
And also let kids be kids. I don't know if you remember in the 90s or movies like Milk Money and all those kind of films where it's like,
that was a heavy hitter though.
Yeah, you just all right. So guys, you went to go pay a prostitute to see her naked, but then you're like, hey, let's have her hook up with my dad.
And then bring her to class with you.
Yeah, but then her pimp comes.
There's none of that.
Watch Risky Business if you want that. But it's they let the kids in this movie be kids, and I like that about it. And so I think that's another reason why it's done well.
Speaking of, you talk about kids being kids. I like other movies too where adults have fun along with the kids during movies.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice that?
Yeah.
When adults they're literally having fun with them versus being the stodgy, annoying. It's easy to write someone annoying who's strict and not cool. It's harder to write, or it takes more talent to write the authority figures who are funny and cool and good role models.
It's like Empire Records.
Yeah, with Joe.
The bosses that we've talked about who
the great bosses.
I mean, these aren't kids, but it's remember Rookie of the Year? A lot of people are nice to Henry. In the beginning, Gary Busey's a little kind of squirrely, but then they become best buds, and Daniel Stern's always nice to him, and then the whole team likes him.
And then the coach is likable because he keeps butchering his name.
Gardenhoser, Rubenberger, Gardner, Rowan Gardner. What did he call me? But yeah, that movie I think I love a lot too. And one of the friends from Rookie of the Year is in this movie as well. He's the one who narcs on him with the candy. But yeah, I think that movie I always liked because remember that scene on the airplane when Gary Busey and Thomas and Nicholas are talking about like, what'd you get for lunch? Oh, I got the Salisbury steak. You want to trade? Like, I don't know why, but as a kid, I'm like, that's neat. Like adults being nice. Yeah. So yeah, I know I just brought a Book of the Year, but that's why I think Pat so much is he pushes Josh around and Jerry. He pushes Jerry around and on the cart, and he's just he's just a good leader. I like
one similar movie that I loved was Major Payne. I watched that in preparation for this episode because I wanted to watch another movie with a tyrannical authority figure where all the kids conspire against. And that's probably one of the closest movies to Heavyweights there is. But Damon Wayans had fun in that movie. He just kept calling these kids turds.
One turd, two.
Getting in their faces and screaming at these kids. He was having a blast. He was hilarious.
The one problem with that though is the kids had some issues in that movie. So they had to deal with the kid issues in that. This one, the kids don't really have those issues.
Oh, yeah.
So does that make I think that makes it much more of a hangout movie when it's just as many people love The Breakfast Club. I can't watch that movie a lot because there's just so many issues being explored.
It has that emotional weight to it.
Yeah,
you just don't need that.
It's very heavy, and then this one, Heavyweights, lacks all of that, and I like that. I like that about it. Like Ernest goes to camp. You have troubled kids; they're just horrible to Ernest. And then there's a war at the end where they send turtles with parachutes to attack loggers, or there's curses. Like Ernest almost gets murdered in it.
That movie's not streaming anywhere.
Yeah, good thing I own it on DVD.
I'm like, that should be streaming. It needs to come back.
Good movie, but I guess what I'm saying, Heavyweights can afford to be a cult classic because it's just such a watchable little thing.
Also, there hasn't been a good camp movie in 2 decades. Like, when was the last good movie about summer camp that was clean and good for kids? I'm not talking horror movies because there's a lot of horror movies out in the woods.
Because it's cheap. Yeah. Camp movies. Kid camp. Like PG rated kid camp movies.
When was the last one? I think Disney had one called Magic Camp. That was just disposable content. That was easy. There's nothing remarkable about that.
Yeah, we're not really in that era anymore. I don't know if you could you? That would be interesting now, making a modern day camp movie, because you just have to deal with all the technology of the day.
Well, I think it
like
probably appeals. How when you watch commercials, for a while my algorithm on social was tagging me like my kids were playing with this for hours and didn't pick up a device, and I'm like, ooh, what is it?
A sock.
So I think
so
now
stupid.
I'm like watching this and I'm like, I got to get my kids to camp. They can do some detoxing from devices. They can cause mischief. Like, I'm watching this and it's very aspirational as a parent. So I feel like there would be a big market for camps. I can see camps growing in the future where people bucking technology trends and just getting out into the wilderness.
This is definitely an idealized visual of camp, so where all the kids genuinely like each other, and there's no hierarchy as well to this.
Yeah.
I think camps would be much more split up. Does that make
clicky,
sense? Yeah,
cliquish, maybe.
because
I think it's good though. It helps kids cope. I mean, you got to be able to deal with difficult situations. And let's say you go to camp and you're on the bubble, you're not on the inside track. Maybe it makes you more aware of it when you go back to your school if the roles were reversed. Just more experiences to build resilience and deal with difficult people.
You go to summer camp and you just come back with like a leather jacket with full of confidence, Erik. Like, here's,
I mean, there's a fear, like, who is mentoring my kids? If they go to, like, what are they telling them? What if there's a weird kid in the bunk? There's all this like strange things that go in through a parent's head. Like, you send a kid to a fat camp and then Tony Perkis buys it.
Its owners went bankrupt.
Yeah. Why would they not cancel? Like, why would they like, everyone should have just refunded their money.
And Tim Blank Nelson shows up and just lies through his teeth to get the kid in the camp. But see, there's so many little people popping up in this. Yeah, just Tony Perkis shows up and just starts. But you know why his character works is very early on when he explains he has no idea how to deal with kids. Like, this guy is rich. He's
everything fell flat too. Yeah, his speech at the beginning. Remember when he tried rubbing the kids' heads, but it was super awkward on the way in. And then he said the kid from England was going to be the next president of the United States of America. So he just got everything wrong.
And then he has his little scene where he's talking to himself. He's like little Tony, and then he makes it all their fault. But you know what though? That works. He's not just a antagonist. You can kind of understand him a little bit.
Yeah, wouldn't it be funny if Tony Perkis was actually a genius and he achieved his mission of getting kids to find their own voice and build resilience by pushing back on authority and starting their journey to health? Maybe he was just a genius all along. Yeah, and then the Perkis method worked.
He would have to be filming a second documentary, filming his documentary. The show, he would have to be, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy this camp. I'm going to pretend like I'm making an infomercial, be really hard on these kids. I'm going to be so hard on these kids, they're going to imprison me in a cage and electrocute me. And then I'm going to fight back against them. And then they're going to realize their confidence. So then this is the tape, you will see. So I'm going to go through all this, but no, this is going to happen. So then when he starts filming it all and they catch him, he'd be like, okay, guys, watch this. I don't think they would be happy with him, but also, like, maybe they found some confidence.
40 chess. Yeah. Do you remember infomercials?
Wait, what do people say? Like, they're playing checkers, but you're playing chess or something?
Do you remember infomercials from the 90s?
Oh man, yeah.
And 80s? They weren't. I was trying to think of what they were for anyone who's younger than us listening who has no idea what an infomercial is.
Well,
it was like
people
a
probably remember
TV
the slap
show.
chop. That was
just a commercial.
Oh yeah, you're right. Infomercial.
They would do these 30-minute like fake TV shows designed to sell one thing, like kitchen gadgets or cleaning products or real estate seminars, hair growth. It was just, you tune in and it's just a commercial for 30 minutes. That's what an infomercial, info and commercial. So it was like this. So it was a thing. But I want to write an article for your blog about how heavyweights look 30 years into the future with diet culture in 2026, wellness culture, with all the biohacking, all these crazy experiments, because he was trying to set himself up to be an expert, and he was a content creator.
Before
setting himself up as an expert in this field, even though he didn't have any like credibility or anything.
What was the first season of The Real World? Let me look it up. The Real World. First season of The Real World. Oh, it was in 92. So maybe by this point he had watched some Real World and saw, like, this is what happens when life gets real. He's like, I could document this. I could make an infomercial and sell it. So then he's
Stiller was big on MTV back then too.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He was one of the darlings. He would pop up every now and then, different things.
So yeah, maybe he saw that and then he thought, hey, I could be this and sell this idea and be an early influencer or
We're
content
surrounded
creator.
by it. Like companies are now turning to people to sell. Like you get the biohacking looks maxing is a thing now.
God. You know, as someone who goes to a lot of press screenings, you know, I just want everyone to know I don't hate the game. I know I respect the hustle. So anybody in it, but yeah, I've noticed the rise of, you know, influencers at these screenings, and some of them are paid influencers. So after the movie, it's like out of theater reaction. This movie rocks. It is the scariest movie ever. And you, yeah, it worries me a little, Erik. But you know, I guess people get paid for it.
I kind of like the other aspects of. I enjoy the stars going on the longer form podcasts.
Yeah, that's good. Well,
I
that's
don't.
different.
I never watched but I never watched the Entertainment Tonight trailers where you sit in the small studio and you have this 5-minute conversation. I like it when Leonardo DiCaprio goes on the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers and talks for 30 minutes and tells stories. That's much more interesting. Like I enjoyed Joaquin Phoenix on Theo Vaughn. You know, things like that where I think it's gotten a lot better in terms of making connections with these actors.
Well, these aren't manicured people who are looking for 30 seconds to do an interview of like 5 minutes with a few stock questions from marketers. You know, these are, you know, I think Kelsey's favorite movie is Malibu's Most Wanted, and I think Jason Kelsey's favorite movie is Heavyweights. Like these guys aren't these aren't
they ask normal questions.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what's up, bro? Like, how'd you do that? I saw you hanging from that thing. That was kind of crazy. That reminded me of my Super Bowl winning year. You know, it's just, yeah, I think you can get more natural questions, and they're probably more relaxed with it. And plus, too, like they don't really need the celebrities. I think if you have an Entertainment Tonight, you need the celebrities on your show, so you got to kind of, you know, hit them up with simple questions. But when you're those podcasts, you can just chat with people because
man, the game is changing. Damon was on Saturday Night Live on this past weekend to promote the Odyssey, even though it's 9 weeks away from.
Do you yeah, the game is changing, so you just kind of have to adapt. It has nothing to do with Heavyweights, but it's been interesting. And also as a writer, I've just noticed how it's changed. But I think when you start saying that it's not like it used to be, then you're done. Like you just got to roll with it. And so he's got to observe how it's changing and do all that. And so, but I mean, you know what? Ben Stiller's always been a little bit ahead of things. So when he did like Zoolander, that, you know, I know the timing was bad, but that movie became a wild cult classic. I mean, one of the most quotable movies that was initially despised. You know, Tropic Thunder was gigantic, but that movie was like kind of scathing and brutal and sort of ahead of its time. He's made several like Reality Bites. He's made a few kind of ahead of their. He was with Wes Anderson in Royal Tenenbaums. I think he's a guy I think who gets the pulse of the, like even Severance right now. He's seeing it. So I think he's a guy who's always played 40. Been playing chess with people.
Yeah, when I think about those years from college, I think Dodgeball was one of or Zoolander was one of our go-to hangover movies in the morning.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to watch. It's just stupid. He goes to hang. I got the black lung pop. Stupid.
His dad was in this one too.
Yeah.
His dad was one of the cameos. Was that his mom too?
Yeah.
Right. Good call.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they just, this movie, I know we digressed, but yeah, I think he's a guy who kind of, he sees into the future a little bit with his shows. But, you know, but he also made, you know, Zoolander 2. So that wasn't great. Oh, so what are some of your favorite moments though from this movie? Are there other moments that we haven't covered?
Yeah, we talked about the dance. I liked the beginning a lot too. I liked, so it shows the kid, he's walking past the popular kids making out, and then he misses his bus, and then he's just subjected to embarrassment after embarrassment with chasing after the bus. He can't throw a ball over the fence at the baseball game. He gets chased by a dog.
Everyone hates him.
But it sets up like this kid needs a pick me up. This kid's kind of got it rough right now, and that's what I liked about it too, because it's just like he's got friends. He's a nice kid, but he's kind of on the outskirts kind of what's going on, and going to this camp would be good for him.
And his buddy has the Mean People Suck shirt, which is a 90s staple.
I love that, and I loved a lot of the quotes from Ben Stiller. It reminded me of my Air Force days about lunch is canceled today due to lack of hustle or stuff like that. That's very memorable.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Also, he directed The Cable Guy in '96, which everyone sort of missed, and then everyone reappraised later. Ben Stiller.
Did he act in that or just direct it?
Yeah, he directed it, but I think he was like, okay, I got this guy who's the most famous person in the world. I'm gonna make it super dark and pay him 20 mil, and then hopefully 20 years later, people realize it's a pretty decent movie.
Do you like a protagonist Ben Stiller or an antagonist?
Man, I would have to say antagonist because you watch like Along Came Polly's fine, but I think I don't there's something about Mary, right? I think he's great at submitting himself to horrible things, but that scene belongs to Keith David. He has scenes with Harlan Williams. He has scenes with Matt Dillon. Like he's very much so the straight guy in that. So I think, I mean, I love him in Zoolander. Don't get me like that's a great role. Also, he's really good in, but he's really sort of full of himself in Tropic Thunder. But yeah, when he's in like Night at the Museum, Along Came Polly,
Tugger Nuts. It was Tugger Nuts in.
Like he's good in Meet the Parents, but I guess or like The Heartbreak Kid. I don't like bland protagonist Stiller. I either like silly protagonist Stiller or antagonist Stiller, if that makes sense. Not straight man. Well,
not like Fockers.
Well, so he's good in that one, but then later on he just sort of becomes when he's talking about milking the cats.
Well, that scene they just kept turning the screw. It was stressful, and then they just kept seeing how long they could go with it.
I guess I like Stiller when he just sort of goes for it in roles, but I like him in Greenberg, but he goes for it in that. I don't know, man. I just like Stiller. I'm happy the world has him.
Would you recommend this movie?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is fun. So I asked for, a couple things on Facebook about what people thought about it, and the people that messaged back to me, like Aaron Neuwirth, he absolutely loves this movie. And then we had David Dabrowski. This is one of his favorite movies made. So like people genuinely like this film. And also, I don't know if you looked at it, but Heavyweights has a 6.6 IMDb score. 6.6, Eric. That's pretty good on IMDb.
Yeah, I think it has about a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's probably just gotten higher too. I mean, when this came out, it just died. So I think that really affected the reviews. But nowadays, people dig it. And so the 6.6 is the most important score. That just proves that people like this movie and enjoy it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, thanks for discussing with me. I highly recommend this. It was fun to watch, and we could totally watch this thing again.
Any other questions?
No, that's it.
So we just mowed through this episode.
Yeah, this one went fast.
Yeah, well, there's the problem is there's not much depth to it. You know what the problem with Heavyweights though is? It's like it's just good. It's a good, funny movie. So it's not. We've talked about some odd ducks, like Only the Strong, where a guy turns a group of troubled kids into a gang, and
then it turns into a revenge flick.
Yeah, it takes a turn. This one's just a pleasant camp movie that got underappreciated when it came out. All right, well, thanks for joining me, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, man, that was great.
Wait,
there's plenty of hustle on this episode.
Yeah. No, we just nailed through this thing.
I'm out of content. Yeah. I feel like I'm just saying how good it is over and over again.
It's good. It's good. All right. Yeah. I just had an episode recently with John Levengood. We were talking about Attack of the Clones. I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, there's a danger to staying around too long. But hey, Eric, thank you for joining me. Make sure to listen to our Great Outdoors episode that Eric and I recorded. And yeah, thanks for coming on, Eric.
All right, I'll get back to my Perkisizing.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Erik Hoffmeyer, there's Movies and Flicks. We'll see you next week.